Hi, in this video, which is based on Chapter 4, Lesson 1 of the Prealgebra book, I want to review the rules for divisibility. And the rules for divisibility allow you to look at a number and quickly analyze it and say whether a given number, like 5, can be divided evenly into the number that you're trying to analyze without having to actually do the division. I'm not going to go into great detail to say why they work. For some of these rules, I'll give a brief explanation. If you want to further research why the rule for 3 and 9 works, you can watch one of the Khan Academy videos. If you go to YouTube and enter the why of the 3 divisibility rule, he can show you in about 5 minutes why the 3 rule works, and it's easy to see from that why the rule for 9 also works. So how can you look at a number and tell whether a 2 can go into it evenly? The rule for 2 is the last digit is even of the given number. So if our number is, let's see, 5, 1, 1, 4, the last digit is 4, so we know that 2 will go evenly into 5,114. And I'll list these digits in it. That is, it's a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. The test for 3 is that the sum of the digits can be divided by 3. And sum means add, so for this number, just add them up. 5 and 1 makes 6, 1 more 7. And 4 more is 11, and 3 does not go into 11, so 3 will not go into this number. However, if we put a 1 here, now if we add them up, we get 12. And since 12 is divisible by 3, we know without even doing the division that 3 will go evenly into 15,114. The test for 4 is to check the last 2 digits. If the last 2 digits can be divided by 4, then the entire number can be divided by 4. And I'll briefly say why that works, because it's pretty easy to understand. It doesn't take long to explain. Four goes evenly into 100. 25 times. 4 will go into 200, 50 times. 4 will go into 300, 75 times. 4 will go evenly into any number of hundreds. So 4 will go evenly, this is the digit in the hundreds place in our number here. 4 will go evenly into 151 hundredths. There's 151 hundredths in this number. So we know we can divide this much of the number, the 151, by 4, but can we divide the remaining 14 ones by 4? And the answer is no, can't do that. If we make this an 8, now we have 151,148. We have 1,511 hundredths because this digit's in the hundreds place. 4 will go evenly into any number of hundreds. So it will go evenly into this part of the number, but will it go into 48? Well, 4 times 12 is 48. It'll work. Bingo. So you can divide 151,148 evenly by 4. The test for 5 is the last digit is 0 or 5. If it is, if you count by 5s, you go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You get that 5, 0, 5, 0 pattern repeating, and it always will. So if the last 2 digits are a 0 or 5, if the last digit is a 0 or 5, then you can divide that number by 5. And the test for 6, if it works for 2 and 3, it works for 6. And I'll kind of show you why as a concluding activity in this video. If it works for 2 and 3, it'll work for 6. If it works for 2 and 3, it'll work for 6. The test for 8 is similar to the test for 4, but 8 doesn't go evenly into 100. 8 times 12 is 96. 8 times 13 would be 104. And we're going to skip over 100, but 8 does go evenly into 1,000, 125 times. 8 into 1,000 is 125. So we know that, this is the thousands place, we know that in this much of the number, if it was just 151,000, 8 would go evenly into that, because it goes evenly into 1,000. So, but does it go into 148? Now this is a longer test, it's a little more tedious to do this test. And you might have to, I don't know, well I do know the answer. I don't think it's going to work. 148 is 1 time here, 8, 68. 8 times 8 is 64. And we get remainder 4. So 8 doesn't go evenly into 148. It will not go evenly into 151,148. So it's the last 3 digits. 144. If the last 3 digits are divisible, by 8, then you can divide the entire number by 8. The test for 9 is the sum of the digits again, but the sum of the digits have to be divisible by 9. I'm just going to write sum of the digits. And I bet you know the test for 10. Count by 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. What does it always end in? A 0. So if you can, if the number you're considering ends in a 0, if the last digit is 0, I should have put if the last digit is 0, but it ends in a 0, then you can divide that number by 10. As I come back to show you a little bit more about the test for 6, I want you to think about what is the smallest number that you can divide by all of these, by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. And how could we find out what that number is? Well, first of all, you know, what does it have to end in? That's right, a 0. It has to end in a 0. And that takes care of the 2 and 5, but it doesn't guarantee that you can divide it by 3, 4, 6, or 8. So I want to go into a little bit of number theory to kind of generate this number. So I'm going to build this number. I'm going to leave it to you to do the last steps, and you can tell me the next time you see me if you know what this mystery number is. We know that we have to have a 2 in the number. So we have to be able to divide it by 2. There has to be a 3 in the number. And I'm just trying to think of prime numbers now. So far the number that we built is a 6. 2 times 3 is 6. And we know that 2 will go into it because there's a 2. We know that 3 will go into it because there's a 3 in it. And this is why the test for 6 is if it works for 2 and 3, because anything that has a 2 and a 3 in it has a 6 in it. Does this number have a 4 in it? I don't think so, because 4 is 2 times 2. So we have to put another 2 here. Now here's a 4. 2 times 2 is 4. There's a 2. There's a 3. There's a 6. We don't have a 5, so we have to put a 5. Now we have, if we just reordered these numbers, we would have a 10. 2 times 5 gives us 10. So if we kind of go in order, we have a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, but we don't have an 8 yet. So we need to put another 2 here. These 3 2's multiplied together give us an 8. So we have a 2, 3, 4, a 5, 6, an 8, and a 10, and what's missing is the 9, because we need another 3 to get a 9. So believe it now, if you multiply all these prime numbers together, you'll find the smallest number that you can divide by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. That's it. Let me know what it is. Thanks a lot.